Beverly Nevins is watching. Somebody else has got to be out there. There's 7 of y'all, it says. So that's exciting. And y'all, I don't like this because I can see my hair when I do this sort of thing. And so it's kind of wrong to be watching yourself. Anyway, Miss Virginia, Lisa. Yay. Okay, we're up to 10. Caitlin Marshall, Betty Potter. Hey guys, I'm so excited to see y'all's names fly by my screen. I feel like it's been a hot minute since we were together. Kathy Allen, Lynn Barlow, Barbara Salvato. I'm supposed to be calling you Barbara. I still have your voicemail, so I apologize for being so slow, which probably is not helpful. You probably already got an answer to your question, but anyway. Oh no. Okay. All right, Miss Kay, Melaine, Mimi and Buddy are watching. Hey guys, it's good to see you too, Miss Betty. I hope Randy's doing all right. Okay, what time is it? 4:35. I turned my alarm off yesterday because I was in a training all day long, and so I didn't want it to scare everybody, so I turned it off yesterday. So we're probably past the time. Look, I'm having to do this differently today because I'm at home and I'm usually at work when I do it, and so we're just going to read this together. This is our Isaiah 43:2. It's a different version of Isaiah 43:2, but I think it will work. And sometimes, reading a different version of the same verse is kind of cool because you, I don't know, you just think of things you didn't think of with the other version. So let's read this together, if y'all can see it. And I'm not going to know it because it's a different version. Okay, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. And when you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned. The flames, now our regular version is the flames will not set you ablaze. And this one is the flames shall not consume you. Amen. Let's say a prayer. Gracious God, we just give you thanks for this time together. For these cooler days that promise that fall will indeed be here at some point. We are grateful for that. Just be with us today as we reflect on your grace and your kingdom, and let whatever I say be meaningful in whatever way you need it to. In Jesus' holy, precious name, amen. Amen. So anyway, I'm so excited that y'all are here. I'm going to start off in sort of a weird place today, and I hope you can see this with the weird little setup I have. I feel a little I don't know, just sort of at odds this afternoon because I had to fetch a kid from school and get him home, and then I ran into the backyard to do this because it just seems like it works better in the backyard. But anyway, y'all just hang in there. So I want to start with this picture. Buddy Luce is watching. Buddy Luce probably knows who this is. Do any of the rest of y'all? Hey, Miss Lisa. Do any of the rest of y'all know who this guy is? Can y'all see him? Okay. I'll give you a second to sort of take him all in. See him? This is a picture of Jim Thorpe at the 1912 Olympics. He was in Stockholm, Sweden, and he had a rough sort of start in life. He was a Native American who was born on an Indian reservation in Oklahoma, and he was raised Catholic. Both of his parents were Catholic, but his twin brother passed away when he was 9. His mother passed away 2 years later. And then as a very young teenager, he went to live on a horse farm and worked for these folks. And then he went back home to live on the Indian reservation, and his father passed away. So by the age of 15 or 16, Jim Thorpe was, yes, Kay from Oklahoma. Jim Thorpe was an orphan. And so he had a tough beginning, but during high school and on into college, he had this coach that took an interest in him and showed him, I guess, how to love sports. And he really did love sports. The thing I really love about this picture is that let me get it on camera here, is that yes, very inspiring biography, is he had these shoes on. See those shoes that he's got on there? Those are his shoes that he ran the 1912 Olympics in and won 2 gold medals. See those shoes? His stuff got stolen, And so when he got to Sweden, he borrowed shoes and socks from other players because he didn't have his own. And so he won those 2 gold medals with borrowed equipment. And he still managed to win. Now, the worst part of this whole story, well, maybe not the worst part, but one of the worst parts of the story is that the next year, in 1913, the Olympic Committee decided that that you could not have been a professional athlete at any point in your life, or you were not eligible to compete in the Olympics. And so Jim Thorpe, here he is again. Jim Thorpe had competed in a professional baseball league in 1909, and he had been paid $2 a game, and just a few games, but it was enough for them to revoke his gold medals from the 1912 Olympics. And so Jim Thorpe eventually passed away in 1953 at the age of 65, and he never knew that eventually his gold medals would be reinstated. It wasn't until 1982 when some folks kind of just realized that he deserved these, and they gave him, his family, his gold medals back. But as I got to thinking about Jim Thorpe and how he was said to be the greatest athlete alive, he was using borrowed equipment, and not just borrowed equipment, but borrowed bad equipment. Like his shoes didn't fit, and one of the shoes he had to wear extra socks in. And so it was, I mean, who knows how well he could have done with his regular equipment, but this equipment made me start thinking about how much a lot of the time these days we feel like Jim Thorpe. You know, for the last 6 months, we have been doing jobs and living life and going through the world in a way that isn't with the equipment that we thought we were getting. We have had our equipment, and I'm using that terms broadly and metaphorically, but we have had our equipment taken from us, and we have been given something in its place that is not really, just ill-fitting and doesn't feel right and isn't what we need to get us to the next place where we're going. And so Jim Thorpe is a lot like us, but I think Jim Thorpe and his family are also a lot like us because they had to wait. They had to wait for those Olympic gold medals to be reinstated, just like we're waiting. And it reminded me of a Bible story. I'm trying to think the best way to do this. Let me just read it off my laptop, my iPad right here. So this is a parable that Jesus told. It's from Luke chapter 13, verses 6 through 9. And he tells this parable. A man had a fig tree, and these are Jesus's words. A man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he came seeking fruit on it, but found none. And he said to the vine dresser, "Look, for 3 years now I have come seeking fruit on this fig tree, and I find none. Cut it down. Why should it use up the ground?" And he answered him, the caretaker of the garden answered him, "Sir, let it alone this year also, until I dig around it and put on manure. Then if it should bear fruit next year, well, good. But if not, then you can cut it down." So I think the thing that strikes me about that story is the waiting. Is that the caretaker was willing to wait another year and see what the fruit tree could do. It was alive. It was still growing cells and doing all that plant stuff. It wasn't bearing fruit though. And so between Jim Thorpe's story of waiting and our story of this fig tree's waiting, I feel like we're all waiting. We're waiting for life to get back to normal. And in the midst of that, we have to remember that there is a caretaker there, someone who's looking out for us. Ironically enough, shoveling manure on us so that we can grow and produce fruit at some point down the road that we can't even see from here. But patience and waiting on the Lord is, it's hard, but I think right now it's just the season that we are in. And so I don't leave you with a lot of hope, I guess. I guess this is a little hopeless, but I do leave you with the knowledge that the Lord is there and he will answer in his time, and that these are the sort of struggles that humanity has had for all of eternity, and we're not alone. We're all in this together. So we're going to follow up with the same Isaiah 43:2 Bible verse, and then I'll let you go and be on your weeks. And so glad that you joined us. So glad to see your names. I see some of you in person every once in a while, but it's good to be here with you, old school as it were. So when you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. And when you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you. Amen. Gracious God, we give you thanks for this time of waiting. We're not excited about the waiting, but we give you thanks for the growth and the things that we're learning about ourselves and about your kingdom as we wait. We know that you are with us every step and every second. It's in Jesus' holy and precious name. Amen. Thank you guys so much for being with us. I love that Jim Thorpe story. If you, like somebody posted a minute ago that he had a great biography. So if you want to learn more about him, he's a fascinating guy. Nothing he couldn't do, and just really a cool story. So y'all hang in there. And somebody will be with you next week, and Mr. Michael will be with y'all on Monday. We hope you're still praying with us at 4:32 every day. Love y'all.